if you do not take care of yourself, your mind, your spirit, everything, you're not going to last.
To not only just think of the diabetic, but also think of the caregivers and the family members.
And so that is a form of self-care for us.
And to help diabetics and ease their lives with fashion. And yes, that is exactly what we are doing. Hey Palmr fam, I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Nick.
And welcome back to the Urgent Lows with Palmr, where we talk about lifestyle and type 1 diabetes.
Here, we believe in embracing self-care through life's challenges. How's it going today?
It's going. We're surviving.
We're surviving, yeah. You want to tell them what we've been dealing with for the last few weeks?
Yeah, so we bought a house 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, and before we even bought the house, we had plans done, like we were gonna renovate the house. That was the plan, and it has taken us 3 years to get the process going, and it kind of happened out of nowhere, and it just started up, and we couldn't live there anymore because it was just way too dusty and way too much going on. So we have all moved in with my parents that have been gracious enough to have us, but it is me, Nick, our 2 dogs, and the kids when we have them. So we're just a happy bunch.
In a nice, quaint 2-bedroom house.
Yep.
So it's been fun. Your parents have been amazing. I think they're loving it. But
yeah, I think you're loving it too, because my Cuban mom serves him breakfast like every morning and like caters to him. And I'm like, don't get used to this, Nick, please.
oh man, but yes. So for this episode, we've had this kind of mantra where it is resort wear is self-care.
Yes.
And so we want to kind of talk about that and explain, what does that actually mean for us?
Mhm.
What does that phrase resort wear is self-care mean for us personally in our mission for Palmr?
Yeah. And why we even chose resort wear.
Exactly. And so I know we've shared this story before, but I think it's important that we start a little bit from the beginning and how Palmr was even created. So we were in the Bahamas a year and a half ago for your birthday.
Yep.
We just hopped down there for a little weekend getaway. It's really close with us being here in Florida. And so we went over there and we talked about doing this clothing brand for a long time. And it's something that you've really wanted to do. And since we started dating, we talked about trying to do something. So while there, we said, we are not leaving here until we have a concept and a name for our clothing brand. We were all hanging out in the pool talking about this. And we were just talking about how we are both people that work a lot. We're very passionate about what we do and work hard. And we don't really take care of ourselves very often. And we really love just kind of getting away, a little quick getaway for the weekend, going to a resort. We love the beach. That is a very relaxing place for us. So we were like, man, we should just do something based around that. And we just happened to be in the pool at the time talking about it under a palm tree. And then you looked over and were like, we should do something with a palm tree.
Yep.
What if we used the word Palmr?
And I knew I wanted Palmr to be spelled differently, because if you know us, we live in a neighborhood that is surrounded by Arnold Palmer, the former pro golfer. So I wanted it to be different than our neighborhood. You know, I didn't want people to think like, oh, they named it because of the neighborhood they live in. So we definitely wanted that to be different. And at the time, we were under the palm tree, so Palm, we got Palm there. But then our last name starts with an R, so we kind of just wanted it to be like Palm, and then the R kind of stood for our last name, which then the R took a whole name for itself and meaning for itself. So it has completely turned into something, and I think it's even better.
Exactly. And I love it. I was really happy with how we came up with it. We came with a concept and we started saying, all right, let's make this happen. Our goal is to start planning it and we'll launch it next year. And that's what we did. We pulled it off. We're really excited. We launched it officially the full launch 1 year after, coming up with the concept. It was
Mhm.
August, and that's why we launched it around that time.
Yeah.
We did a soft launch obviously before as we tested things and started building out the website and all, but yeah, so that's kind of the beginning of why we went the direction of resort wear
Mhm.
and why, to us, going on vacation is a form of self-care, and it's something that's very important to us. And we know that everybody can't travel. And when you go on vacations and take care of yourself, you don't have to even go that far. You can do staycations. You can go down to the beach. We're only 45 minutes from the beach, so we can easily hop in the car, go down there for a few hours if we really wanted to. Um, but we really just engloved that kind of lifestyle for us. And so that is a form of self-care for us.
Yeah, and we really wanted that when someone puts on one of our garments, they embrace that lifestyle. They feel like they're on vacation, even if they're not, even if they're sitting in their house. So we really wanted the vibe to be felt through our clothing. And I think something to add on too, it's not even like obviously as a couple we love going on vacations, but going on vacations too with our kids and being around the water is like game changer. So they so enjoy the water and they just light up and it's almost like a different vibe. Like we typically do two like bigger vacations every year, one during the summer and then one in the winter time and they're both super fun, but I just feel that when we're on that summer beach vacation, they are just in their element and just living their best life. So, let's get into what the water means for our T1D warriors and kind of what it means for a diabetic in general.
Exactly. And so the kids love water, but one of the biggest reasons they love the water, and Evie's the one that's more vocal about this, is the fact that because of their type 1 diabetes, they do have to take off their insulin pump. And they're not having their phone around them, or at least carrying it on them. We still got to keep it close.
Mhm.
But Evie has expressed to us that when she is in the water, she almost forgets she has type 1 diabetes.
Yeah. Which is kind of ironic, I guess, for me coming in as a stepmom because like everything's still connected to her body. Like she still has needles in her and still has all the equipment on. But in the everyday life for our kiddos, for example, they always have to have their insulin pump with them and then they always have a cell phone with them. So it's two items that, are heavy and they're wearing them at all times. So in addition to what's connected to their body, they also have to carry these 2 items at all times. So, I think for her, and especially her being so itty bitty, it weighs her down,
Mhm.
and when she gets to go swimming, she gets to leave that all behind. She doesn't have to have a phone with her, she doesn't have to have the insulin pump with her. I mean, she still has the items connected to her body, but she gets to go swimming. And with that being said, since they don't have their equipment and their phone with them, we have to periodically, throughout their swimming and beach day, take them out of the water, let them dry up, have them reconnect, and basically get close to their equipment so that their numbers can start reappearing. So we always have to be monitoring it. I mean, we do almost like every 30 minutes, just depending on where their numbers are. So in reality is a lot more work for us, but just seeing how the kids light up and how they just feel so free, and I just feel like in that moment when they're swimming, they feel like they just fit in, like, no one is different in that moment, like, everyone's in the water, everyone's doing the same thing. So, that just makes it so worthwhile, that where I don't even think, like, it even phases us of like, "Oh, yeah, it's a lot more work," but it's like, whatever, like, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, and I've learned just tricks over the years that I have, I guess, embraced to make that easier because it is. Well, it's easier on the kids, it's more work on us.
Mhm.
And thank God we have technology. The Apple Watch is fantastic and waterproof. And so,
Unless you decide to jump off a boat and do these crazy, like, flip tricks where you just don't land it very well, and then you lose your Apple Watch in the ocean.
that did happen 1 year
For who?
for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. So, outside of that, the Apple Watch is waterproof. And so I can just hop into the water with the kids, have a good time. and I will just set a timer, just literally set timer for 30 minutes or wherever I'm going to do. And I don't have to even really worry about it. I just know that when the alarm goes off, all right, everybody out of the pool, let's check what
Mhm.
the blood sugar is.
Yeah. And one thing that was pretty scary for me coming in as a stepmom and being new to type 1 diabetes was I was well aware that, when the kids are active or they're swimming or whatever the case may be, their numbers tend to trend lower. They go down. They're burning a lot, their sugar levels tend to go down. So, my fear at the beginning was, well, they're swimming so much. Like Evie, I've called her a mermaid. She is a mermaid. She's our mermaid. She loves the water. Like, she can stay there all day long. Like, it does not matter. So, my fear at the beginning was, well, what happens if we're just not aware of it and we miss it and they're tanking, they're going so low. Thankfully, the kids are getting older. Parker for sure can feel his body and knows when he's trending down and when he needs to have a snack or something. Evie is still questionable. I think she's just into swimming and just that's all she has on her mind. But yes, that was definitely an anxiety I had to deal with. And like I look over to Nick and he's so like carefree and I'm like, wait, like shouldn't we be just like sitting on the chairs and just looking and seeing what the numbers are all the time? But again, and we've talked about it before, type 1 diabetes involves a lot of anxiety. And at least for me, who's a very anxiety driven person, it can consume you. But there's just times where you're just going to have faith and know you're doing the right thing and know that your kids are in their bodies and hopefully they can feel it. And we never go longer than 30 minutes, but also we're monitoring it. So like when they get out of the water, if they're super low, we're not just gonna be like, hey, go back in. Like, no, we're gonna give them time to have Gatorade or have snack or whatever the case may be, get them up and then put them back in the water.
Exactly. And we're pretty proactive with like trying to prevent them from going low anyways, knowing that they're going to be burning a lot of energy while they're in the pool. So we'll have more snacks, give them more snacks more often, and not keep them high necessarily, but be proactive with putting more into their bodies, knowing they're going to burn it out before they even go low.
Yeah. So the whole point of our resort wear and kind of where our kids tie this in for us is that not only do we have them in mind, so we are creating and working on creating resort wear that the diabetics can use, and it's easy for them to use pockets, slits, whatever the case may be. But we also think about the caregivers as well. So, Nick, for example, he at any time is going to he could be swimming in the water and then all of a sudden he has to get out and maybe go somewhere and grab a snack for the kids. If we're at a restaurant or a beach bar, whatever the case may be. So, he needs something that he can get out of the pool and go immediately to go get them a snack. And that's where our hybrid swim shorts come in for the men, which is amazing. I love them. Like, I want them all for women, but which we are working on women swimwear. But yeah, I mean, it's just the idea of we don't have any time to waste. We don't have any time to say, oh, like this is wet. I can't walk into here. Or this is going on. This feels disgusting on me. I got to go change first and then I got to go do this. It's like we don't have the luxury of having extra time. In all reality, let's be for real. I think no parent really has the luxury of having time when they're catering to their kids. So I think that that was super important too, to not only just think of the diabetic, but also think of the caregivers and the family members. It's a journey and it takes a whole village, type 1 diabetes. So, Palmer, we really wanted to be focused on everyone that's associated with type 1.
Exactly. And it's just fun for me personally to know that I want to build products that I truly want to wear
Mhm.
at the end of the day. Stuff that I love, but as you said, it is versatile. Making the hybrid swim shorts. Like I didn't invent these by no means. I saw somebody else do it and I bought a pair and I was like, these are my favorite pair of pants. Like I'll wear them as pants, I'll wear them as swim shorts. And I just love that concept, but I didn't really see this very often from other companies. And I was like, no, like this is what we're going to do. Like if we're going to make swimwear, this is what I truly love. I'm going to make my own version of it. and wear it.
Yeah, and talk about a little bit about, like, the pockets of the hybrid swim shorts and kind of, like, the extra zippers and everything that went into it.
The nice thing is like I said, they're swim shorts. They're also normal shorts that you can go out to the bar in or dinner or something like that. So they have belt loops. So if you tuck in a shirt, if you need to wear a belt with it, it also still has the drawstring so you can tighten. You don't jump in the pool and they come flying off or anything. The drawstring is on the inside, so it is hidden. That way it's not weird like trying to wear a belt or anything with it. But everything's on the inside, but all the pockets do have the lining in it, so water can easily go through. And that was really important, that why you can't jump in the pool normal with normal shorts, water kind of fills up, gets, and all that. It just doesn't really work at the end of the day. So this allows you to be able to jump into the pool. We do put zippers on the back pockets. That way you can keep it more secure, all that type of stuff while you're traveling or anything like that going out for your wallet. But yeah, water can easily sift through and they're made of a material that is very quick drying, right? And so when you do need to get out of the pool to go run and get something, you do a quick dry off and you're pretty much dry within a few minutes and it's amazing.
And the hybrid swim shorts that we have out right now for the men, they don't include slits like some women garments do, but that's definitely something that we are working on. We are working on custom pockets like we have mentioned in previous episodes. So a lot is to come soon, which we're super excited about, but we're really just focused on making sure we do it the best way possible. And we posted something on our social media a few weeks ago, and it was asking, if you have type 1 diabetes, would you be interested in being our tester for our products, our new products coming out, or things that we have on the works? Because, like we've mentioned before, Nick and I don't have type 1 diabetes. We have 2 kids with type 1 diabetes, which kids and grown-ups and adults, like, it's a lot different. So we want to make sure that we're catering to everybody because we know how to cater to caregivers, and we know how to cater to diabetic kids, but we really don't necessarily know for adults diabetics and what they go through and different equipment and how they like to wear their equipment. So I'm super excited for what's to come with that and super excited about the feedback that we got. Like, so many new eyes we got looking at our profile, reaching out to us, DMing us. It was so amazing to hear new stories you know, and again, like we've mentioned in other episodes, sometimes there's some negative comments that make their way through and they question us and they question, you know, why are they doing this? A diabetic doesn't want to look any different than anybody else. And amen to that. We agree. Like, that is why you look at our clothing and we wear it. We don't have type 1 diabetes and we wear the Palmr clothes. Like, we are not here to cause a scene or hey everyone, like our kids have type 1 diabetes. No, we want our kids to look the same as my 2 nephews going swimming for the day. But we also know all the hard things that go into having type 1 diabetes. So we want to make their lives a little easier. And any way we can try to figure that out, we're going to do that. But we're not here to make you look different. No one is different. Like, we are all in this together. We're doing this together. And then also, it's like, questioning if our brand is really going to stay true to what we're saying and what we're saying we want to do and to bring awareness to type 1 diabetes and to help diabetics and ease their lives with fashion. And yes, that is exactly what we are doing. That is exactly day in and day out what we plan on doing. That is what we are doing and what we are working every day to find better ways of pockets and find different eases for what can we create and what is going to work for everybody.
Yeah, and so this is why we're building our team of testers.
Yeah.
And it's not just about testing a product, it's about having them help us design and develop the products that's actually going to truly help them and solve a problem. Because
Mm.
that's what it really matters at the end of the day. It could look amazing, but if it's not practical or it doesn't work, then it's almost pointless, right? And that's what we're trying to not do is waste money and waste people's time on a product that does not work. And so what we're really doing is that we're slowing down a little bit on our development so we can get more people involved and really pick their brain on what would it be for, you that really makes sense.
Mhm.
I think that for women, I know a major issue is always the dresses, right? If you have a tube insulin pump. Well, it's not as common for a guy to know what their true problems are because they don't really wear full body suits and all
Mm.
that. They can put their insulin pump in their pocket easily
Pockets.
and just run it down their pants. But that doesn't mean we don't want to see if there's something that we're missing out there. And so we are talking to everybody, interviewing them, and asking if there's a product that could make your life easier, what would that be and why? And so we can actually go make it. One of the things we're working on right now is men's joggers that are just fun, fashionable, easy to relaxing joggers, or you can go out with them or anything like that. But that is something that we are going to have special pockets in for the insulin pumps. But I want to make sure we're actually going to do that right before they go into full development and we make hundreds of these
Mhm.
for people.
And I think another thing to hone in on is we get this a lot of like, "Oh, I love your clothes, but I live where it snows basically year round." It's always cold. Like, I don't live in a climate that's so tropical, which we get that. Not everyone is going to live in a tropical climate, but we want to also remind you of our clothing that not only is it fun and it's bright and it's great to be at a resort or on a beach vacation or whatever the case may be, but our products are actually very breathable and quick drying, like you've mentioned for the hybrid swim shorts. Like, we are creating garments that will help a parent that has a child with type 1 diabetes, even if they're at the park, even if something spills on it, like whatever the case may be, we want these items to be easy for the person wearing it and for also their caregivers as well.
Exactly. So shifting a little bit away from the products, we really embrace self-care here. And as we mentioned, traveling is a big part and we love going to the beach. For you, how do you feel when you go to the beach or resort or anything like that? And how does it truly kind of help your mindset and everything?
Yeah, I feel, especially when we go on vacations with the kids, that it's a beach vacation or whatever the case may be, I feel like we're almost like living in our own little bubble for that time being, for that vacation time. Like, yes, diabetes is still there, but it just doesn't, I don't know, for some reason, it doesn't seem so hard like it does on every other daily basis. So it's kind of like an escape. And I really love that we can come together and all enjoy it and also just feel like we are, making so many memories, but we're having a good time. And, our what's most important to us when we go on vacations with our kids, because as we've mentioned, we are a blended family. So we don't have the kids all the time. So we have the kids 50% of the time. So when we do have them, we make the most of it and we make the best of it. And we want to create memories with them. And so I love going on these resorts with them, but then also when you and I get to go do one and go by ourselves, like, it's just relaxing. Like, I don't know if it's for everybody, but I just feel like I just get in the zone and I'm like, all right, I'm allowed to take a break because I feel like everyday life is fast. Everything is moving fast, everything's going on. It's kind of hard to escape it, but when you go into this vacation mode, I just kind of like turn that all away and it's like, all right, this is our time where we are meant to relax. We are meant to feel good. And I love doing that with our clothes and feeling confident on vacation and feeling like I love how this feels. I even like, let's just be real. I like when I get compliments on my outfits. And we get it all the time when we go somewhere and we're wearing Palmer stuff. Like, everyone's asking like, "Where'd you get that? I love that." And it's so fun to be like, "Oh, we make it." Like, it's from our brand.
I can't believe how often I'm getting that from stuff that I'm wearing, and it feels amazing. It's like, "All right, no, we got something here. That's awesome."
Yeah, because we're starting the conversation now, and then we're also not only saying like, "Hey, we're introducing them to our brand," but we're also introducing them to the mission behind our brand and why we started this brand and what we stand for and type 1 diabetes and what it means to us. So it's really just a conversation opening piece, and I love that.
Yeah, and I know for me, when we make these items and we build out our social media and all that type of stuff, I just really want to encourage people that, hey, self-care truly is important at the end of the day. And if you do not take care of yourself, your mind, your spirit, everything, you're not going to last. Like, this is not going to be a great world. This world is hard. There's a lot of craziness going on at all times. And so it's so important that you have that escape, that you get away for a day or two. It doesn't mean you have to be going on these crazy, lavish vacations all the time. Get away for a day or two. I have such a bad habit of working 7 days a week,
Mhm.
and that's not good for me. I need to be having at least 1 day off. And so maybe I gotta work a little bit extra one other day, but if I can get that 1 day off, that is great. And that's all self-care at the end of the day. So if you've listened to this episode, we just really encourage you to follow us on social media, go to our website, check out what we're doing, and leave us a comment. So we love to talk to people, connect with people. Tell us what self-care means for you.
Mhm.
What do you think resort wear should be about? Is there a product that you wish was out there that would help you with type 1 diabetes?
Yeah. And I love that when we made that post about, if anybody would be interested in being a tester, like the feedback we got, like immediately, like, hey, I've had type 1 diabetes for 20 years, and this is what is so difficult when it comes to clothes. And I've never found anything that's been easy and has made me feel good at the same time wearing it. So that's like game changer. And we just really want to keep this conversation going because, yes, it's easy for us to talk about our situation and our lives and our experience, but we also want to hear from you guys and what's going on. And even if you don't have type 1 diabetes, if you're a caregiver of type 1 diabetes, or even if you know nothing about type 1 diabetes, like my friend had a birthday party for her boy last weekend. And it was so amazing because prior to the party, she texted me and she said, hey, I'm thinking of doing cupcakes for the dessert. And can Parker and Evie have cupcakes? Like, how does that work for them? Like, we're also going to be having pizza. Like, how does this all work with them for their diabetes? Like, should I get them another option? I was like, no, that's perfectly fine. They can eat cupcakes as well. If you have the carb count, that's amazing on the cupcake. But if you don't, no big deal. We'll figure it out and how much to give them for insulin. But just her asking that question, and then I thanked her for asking that. And she's like, you know, really, since you guys started Palmr and even started the podcast, like I knew nothing about type 1 diabetes, like nothing at all. And she's like, and I also didn't even think about it when it comes to throwing birthday parties for my own kids that don't have type 1. Like maybe there's something that there's an allergy or something that another kid that's going to be attending the party has. And, sometimes she was even like, I was like blind to it because thankfully I don't have to deal with it with my own kids, but I see what you guys are doing and having that open conversation. And that to me is huge because even if, seeing our stuff, seeing our content, seeing our episodes, like watching our episodes, even if you don't have type 1 diabetes and it doesn't affect your direct life, even if it can make you think outside the box of next time you throw a kid's birthday party or next time anything the case may be, and what are like simple things to look out for, that's game changer for me.
Definitely. Wow. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you learned a lot from this.
Thanks for watching another episode with us, and we can't wait for next week. Bye, Palmer fam.
Bye.